everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi. In today's video, we're going to be talking about vocations in the Catholic Church.
Fun fact, we all have a job to do.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So as I mentioned in today's video, I'm going to be talking about vocations in the Catholic Church. If you're new here, my name is Lexi and I am a Catholic who was recently confirmed into the Catholic Church. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. But right before we get into it, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a ton. Even a like, even a comment, maybe even a follow. It's greatly appreciated. Let's hop into the video. So if you're a Christian, you may be familiar with the word vocation. You may have heard it once or twice in a sentence or conversation, but what does it actually mean? Well, vocation in a religious context is how God calls you to serve him in this world. It is also known to mean calling, which is God's calling for us. The term vocation poses the following questions in the church. How is God calling you to serve him? What is the direction and purpose of your life meant to be? And these are some big, huge, serious questions that a lot of people do not know the answers to. And if you don't, that's okay. I myself am not fully confident in what my future is supposed to be. A lot of Christians feel anxious because they feel like their next decision is going to be a wrong choice that is going to lead them down a dark and scary path. They are scared that one decision, such as turning down a job offering, is not going to be God's plan for them, and they are going to face the consequences of that. But don't worry, you are not alone. It is important to view the way that we discern our vocations in the terms of what the Second Vatican Council explains. It nicknames the vocation as our universal call to holiness. And it is just that. We are all entitled to a vocation regardless of it being a priest. Let's think besides occupations. We as Christians all have a vocation to become more and more holy through the love of Jesus Christ. Let's look at the Catechism for some info. Let's turn to 1533 of the Catechism. Chapter 3, the sacraments of the service of communion. Baptism, confirmation, and Eucharist are sacraments of Christian initiation. They ground the common vocation of all Christ's disciples, a vocation to holiness and to the mission of evangelizing the world. So as we can see here, we all have a vocation to become more holy and to spread the word of God. It is important to note that if we each have a universal vocation to holiness, that means we also have a universal vocation to love, because God is love, and becoming more holy is becoming more like God, who is love. In terms of understanding and comprehending your vocation, the best thing you can do is to focus on growing to become more holy. In doing so, your vocation will be made manifest. Let's look at some other words from the Catechism. 1877. The vocation of humanity is to show forth the image of God and to be transformed into the image of the Father's only Son. This vocation takes a personal form since each of us is called to enter into the divine beatitude. It also concerns the human community as a whole. So this is another example that our vocation is universal and we are all called to the same vocation or duty or calling in a way to become more holy. My last little piece from the Catechism is going to be 1928. Society ensures social justice when it provides the conditions that allow associations or individuals to obtain what is their due according to their nature and their vocation. Social justice is linked to the common good and the exercise of authority. Does everyone have a vocation though? The answer is absolutely. We have all been created by God for a purpose and for an end. We all as Christians have a common vocation to holiness and to the mission of evangelizing the world, as I've mentioned several times now. Within this common vocation, God invites each of us to follow a specific path outlined by him. So while we all have a universal vocation, we also have our own distinct vocations. This could be becoming a priest. This could be getting married. This could be taking a vow of celibacy. Others are called to the religious life, and some even called to meet him in the ordinary. Yes, living an ordinary life is a vocation. But how do you know if God is calling you to a specific vocation? This is something a lot of individuals have a difficulty discerning. It's important to note that the setting in which a person can learn to discern the vocation is through prayer, through communication with God. Prayer is an absolute necessity in spiritual life, and we can see this through the story of Jesus. With his prayer, Jesus teaches us to pray, to discover the will of our Father, and to obey by it, and to identify with it. In prayer, we can discern God's will in every moment of our life. In the apostolic exhortation of Pope Francis, it is said, You too need to see the entirety of your life as a mission. Try to do so by listening to God in prayer and recognizing the signs that He gives you. Always ask the Spirit what Jesus expects from you at every moment of your life and in every decision you must make, so as to discern its place in the mission you have received. Allow the Spirit to forge in you the personal mystery that can reflect Jesus Christ in today's world. Now, let's say you've been praying a lot about your vocation and you still feel like you can't hear God or you are unsure of the answer. Another thing you can do is contact a spiritual director who can be a great help to help you identify what your first vocation could be. Through the advice of a spiritual director, individuals can discover the will of God and aspire to place that will into their practice of their lives. Thank you for listening. I hope that this answered some of y'all's questions in regards to vocation. I hope you finally understand the meaning, and I hope that you all have a blessed and fabulous day.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Bye!